deci, we kind of skip over deci, centi, milli, micro, etc. Remember that these base units are sort of like a foundation. Whenever you're doing conversions from a very small unit to a very large unit, or a very large unit to a very small unit, you always go through the base units, you know, whichever direction you're going. Now, it actually makes it easier, even if you're going, even if you're going from a small unit to another small unit, you can still go through the base unit. And it actually simplifies the relationship. So the first thing we want to do, we're going to set up a factor label, and we always start with our given. So we're going to start with 36 kilometers. The units that go down here are always the same units you started with, so that they'll cancel. And our first step is going to be to go through the base unit. So we're dealing with kilometers and centimeters. What's our base unit? If we take the prefix off, kilometers and centimeters, we're dealing with meters. So we want to go through meters. So that'll be our first step. Well, we know that we want to end up in centimeters. So we know that our last space will be centimeters. And we know that here we have to have the same units as we have here so that they'll cancel. So now we've got our problem laid out for us. If you check your units to make sure that these units cancel, you will never do these wrong as long as you get the relationships right. If you make sure those units cancel, you're always going to be okay with this. All right. So what's the relationship between meters and kilometers? There's a what? 1,000. There's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So don't write anything yet. Because in physical science and in math and in middle school, you write 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. Well, that's fine. Here we're going to use powers of 10. So you're always going to put the power of 10 with the base unit. Let me make a note here. Always put power of 10 with base. That's important. So this would be 1 times 10 to the third meters is equal to 1 kilometer. Okay. Well, that one was easy. What about this next one, centimeters and meters? What's the relationship? There are 100 centimeters in a meter, but we're not going to put 100 centimeters in 1 meter. We're going to say 1 times 10 to the negative second meters equals 1 centimeter. The power always goes with the base unit. So if you look at that chart on page 35 in your book, the exponential factor there only works if you remember to always put the power of 10 with the base unit. So now, using what you learned in doing operations with scientific notation, this is what? 36 times 1 times 1 over 1 times 1. Well, okay, we know it's 36. That whole thing times 10 to the, got a square, 3 minus negative 2. So we end up with 36 times 10 to the what? Times 10 to the 5th. So we just have to correct our scientific notation, and that's it. So I'll let you go. I'll finish talking to the video. It's not the way you've done it in the past, but practice with this. We'll go ahead and we'll probably do the conversions quiz about 20 minutes in tomorrow. We'll finish up some concepts, then we'll do the quiz. Oh, that's right. I still have you guys. Okay. All right.
What are we going to do? Just disappear?
Good, good, good. No. Shh. Okay, so let's fix our 36 times 10 to the 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's 3.6 times 10 to the 6th centimeters. So 3.6 times 10 to the 6th centimeters. Okay, we're going to do some more practice with this. Okay, pick a number between 1 and 100. Trent. 50. I'm going to make that 51 just to drop the 0 off. Okay, pick a prefix. Taylor Plunkett. Mega, kilo, milli, centi. Kilo, okay. And I'll pick a base unit, liters. And we want to, okay, so we want to know how many megaliters that is. So here we've got an example where we're going, remember we've got mega, kilo, our base units, centi, milli, micro, nano, pico. So here we're going from kilo to mega. But we don't want to try to go straight through. We want to go to the base unit and then to mega. Okay? So we're going to set up a factor label. What goes in our first box, Haley? What do we start off with? Yep, we always start with our given. Perfect. So 51 kiloliters. And what units are we going to have down here in this next box stuff?
If we're going to go back to the base,
well, what units always go?
We're going to have kiloliters.
Right, exactly. So that first box on the bottom is always going to have the same units we started with to cancel. Now, I think you were jumping a step ahead because we're going to go through the base unit. So what units are going to go here, Leanne? Okay, well, what's the base unit if we're going from kiloliters to megaliters? If we take off the prefixes, liters? Yeah, you got it. Liters, okay. So we want to go into megaliters. What units do we want to have down here, Taylor? Liters, yeah. So that they'll cancel. And what units do we want to have up here, Colton? Megaliters. Okay, good. So, check yourself on your units. Will they all cancel? Yes. Kiloliters cancels, liters cancels. We're left with megaliters, and that's what we want. Okay, what's the relationship between kiloliters and liters? Kilo anything. 10 to the third, right? 1,000 kilo. Okay. The power of 10 is always going to go where, Trent? The base unit. So we're going to say 1 times 10 to the third liters is equal to 1 kiloliter. Okay. Mega. Now, I know you haven't memorized these all yet because I just told you today that you had to. So mega is 10 to the 6th. Where's that 10 to the 6th going to go, Daniel? With the base unit. 1 times 10 to the 6th liters is 1 megaliter. Okay, so now we're going to pull out these 51 times 1 times 1 over 1 times 1. Well, we knew that'd be 51. The whole mess times 10 to the what? 3 minus 6. Yeah. So we have 51 times 10 to the negative third megaliters. We need to fix up our scientific notation. Three, 1, 2. So we have 5.1 times 10 to the negative second megaliters. Does this feel easier so far? Okay. I find that doing it with the powers seems weird at first, but once you get the hang of it, man, is it simple. So let's do one more. Let's go the other direction. So I'm going to pick the initial prefix. Well, okay, pick a number between 1 and 99, Colton. 99, okay. 99 micrograms. So vitamins are very often measured in micrograms. You have an allowance of, 300 micrograms of vitamin C per day. So we've got 99 micrograms of something. We want to know how many milligrams that is.
Yeah.
Oh, let me talk. This is the Greek letter mu. It's a Greek letter. Because micro, well, M is already taken. Little m's taken, big M's taken. You got to have something else. So it's micro. It's like a U whose tail got caught in the door.
Okay.
Except it's the front tail. So that's mu.
Just running the other direction.
Yeah. It was, anyway. All right. So, again, mega, kilo, base unit, centi, milli, micro, nano, pico. We're going from micro to milli. We're going to go through the base. So what goes in our first starting box? Trent. 99 micrograms. Okay. What units are going to go down here? Daniel. We have to cancel this, remember, so micrograms. Okay. What units are going to go up here, Steph, since we're going through base? Grams. What units are going to go down here to cancel, Taylor? Grams. And what units are going to go up here, Leanne, to end up in? Milligrams. Okay, so check out your cancellations. Do all your units cancel?
Yeah.
Yes. Cancels. We end up in the units we want. Wunderbar. Now, let me show you an additional trick. Because this is something I do. Once you're used to doing these in powers, this makes it even easier. We can convert this number to 9.9 times 10 to the first. And it saves us conversions at the end. I like to do that. You don't have to, but I like to. All right. What's the relationship between grams and micrograms? Negative sixth. And where is the power of 10 going to go? By the grams, always with the base unit. So 1 times 10 to the negative 6th grams equals 1 microgram. Okay? What's the relationship between grams and milligrams in power of 10? 10 to the negative third. And where's the power of 10 going to go, Haley? Always with the base unit. So it's going to go with the grams. So 1 times 10 to the negative third grams is 1 milligram. So now that we converted this, this gives us 9.9 times 1 over 1 times 1, the whole mess, times 10 to the 1 plus negative